Hello?
Are you ready for this? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. How do you say here we go?
Hi, I'm Elmo.
Apparently.
And you're listening to You're My Best Friend with two of my best friends, Moxy and
Fly swatter.
Ruben.
I have an answer for everything. I should have been a lawyer.
You're just a confused person.
This is very true.
I know, in the jar. I got it.
You're listening to You're My Best Friend, the podcast about life, friendship, and tacos. Now here are your hosts, Moxy and Ruben J.
All right, so welcome to You're My Best Friend, a podcast about stuff and things. Are we officially eliminating?
We cutting it?
We talked about it,
Did
but
we decide?
I don't think we decided.
We're not in season yet.
It's true. So people are listening to this and going, what the hell is going on here? There's just two people talking in a microphone, pretending that there's a podcast that hasn't been announced yet.
Podcast
It's
is.
true.
If it's just two people talking into a microphone,
Yeah.
it's not pretending to be a podcast. It's a podcast.
It is a podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretending to be more than that.
Well, I'm pretending to be more now. It's no
Yeah, because
longer
you're
my
bigs.
last
Yeah,
name.
you're bigs. So do you want to, should we do the whole thing?
Sure.
Okay, welcome to You're My Best Friend, a podcast about life, friendship, and tacos. If you are listening to this, which if this is on, then you are listening to this, or it's playing in the background. But we're back.
You didn't do the rest of the thing.
What's the rest
My
of the
one
thing?
part. You have to say your name.
Oh,
You say, I'm Ruben
it's
J.
been you're not Ruben J.
You say, I'm
Okay.
Ruben J.
Okay, let's try that again.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to You're My Best Friend, a podcast about life, friendship, and tacos. My name's Ruben J.
And I'm Moxy Ann.
Oh, that feels right.
That's my one line.
That
people.
feels right.
I get one line.
So if you're listening to this, your ears do not deceive you. Your eyes might, because there's no video.
Well,
so
there is video,
Oh,
actually.
there is video.
Yeah, up there.
Oh, that's creepy. But we just announced that we're back.
We're back, baby.
How do you feel about us being
Guess who's back?
Really sold that.
Back again. Sorry, Caleb's calling me. I'm distracted.
Do we need a pause?
Maybe.
Every time.
Amazing.
Oh gosh.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, I'm recording a podcast right now, what's up, question mark.
I thought
that you answered it on your watch, and I was like, all right, special
Dick
guest
Tracy.
I am so glad that I wasn't the only one that thought she answered that.
calling in from Santa Ana, California.
You're on the air.
We're keeping all this, by the way.
Okay, cool.
So, moving on.
Take 3.
Sorry. Did we pause, or is that all
No,
live?
it's all-
Great.
Welcome
awesome.
to the You're My Best
Fantastic.
Friend
What a
podcast.
comeback,
This is
people.
a roaring start.
Can I do the introduction?
Yes.
Sure, go for it.
Wait,
Welcome to-
what?
Welcome to the Best Friend podcast, a podcast about life, friends, tacos, and Apple Watches. If you are listening, we're back. But it's just me this time.
So I give you an A for effort. You got the name of the show wrong, and you got the tagline wrong, but all good. All good.
All right, can I do it?
Sure, might as
Okay.
well.
All
Literally,
right. All right.
for
All right.
3 years, he did not let me do this. And now he's just like, yeah, anybody can do it.
Jason, you're next.
Welcome to You're My Best Friend, a podcast about life, friendship, tacos, and coffee.
Oh my gosh.
The way that was going, I thought he was going to say murder.
Right?
It's giving smooth jazz.
Can we put some like nice piano in the background?
Babe, you want to come do this?
Okay. She's really excited.
Well, she's not feeling good.
Aw.
All right.
What do I do? Welcome to You're My Best Friend, a podcast about life, friendship, and tacos. Yay.
That was pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yay.
I like the yay.
Now that I've got the script down, can I try again?
Yeah,
Sure.
you can try again.
Welcome to the You're My Best Friend podcast.
Close. Almost.
Welcome
Two.
to
Oh, more people are coming.
Oh,
in.
this is great.
This is great.
Oh, get the kid in here. He'll be
yeah.
great.
Oh, yeah. Paul, was it?
Paul. Yes.
Paul, you want to try our intro?
Is this thing on?
Oh my God.
Hello. You want to puke on the mic? Please.
No, please don't puke on the.
Very
Oh,
expensive microphone.
So, if you're just joining us, we have Paul Hinson. He is he's living his best life at
Paul, was it?
10 months, and he's definitely quite the screecher when he wants to be.
Yeah, he seems to be a little bit microphone shy.
Yeah, he is. He's very, very squirrely.
All right, welcome to You're My Best Friend, a podcast about life, friendship, and tacos. My name's Ruben J.
And I'm Moxy.
And we're back.
We're back.
We're doing this. If you are listening to this, we're 6 minutes into this.
Back streets back. All right.
So we're 6 minutes into this, and we've gotten nowhere with this.
No, absolutely.
So we're going to address the elephant in the room.
Don't refer to my nephew that way.
Jeez. I gave birth 10 months ago, not a week ago.
Listen, you pointed to your mom, and I was like, how dare you? That is a rude thing to say about your mom.
Oh, that was really bad.
I said nephew.
I think I just
She
got
did
cut
say
off
nephew.
From the family.
Yeah.
No, see, all I saw was her point backwards, and her mom was right there, and I'm like, that is rude. That is very mean.
I saw that too. So I took the insult.
Okay, so moving on.
So we're back, and Moxy and I, we've been on hiatus for a long time, and coming this January, we're coming back with full new episodes.
I know.
We got it all planned out.
We had a whole staff meeting the other day.
Yeah, all three of us were there.
Multiple coffees were involved.
Yes.
Pregnant, Ruben?
What?
No, my multiple personalities.
I had a thought a couple hours ago. Sorry, ADHD.
Yeah,
Just
notes.
go with me here for a
Okay.
second. If you identify as a they, them, can you take the carpool lane?
Ooh, that's a very smart move.
Because I thought about it when I was sitting in traffic on the 405 at minute 12.
Although if they do pull you over and you try to use that, you might not go off in the back of a police car. You might go off in the back of some other kind of van.
Oh, that's
Not in
true.
California.
No, not in
You
California.
could really sell it because they'll ask you, what's your name? And you can say Legion, for we are many.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, technically, you do have multiple personalities.
Right. Yeah.
You have,
So I
you
don't
have your
know.
personal personality, you have your stage personality, podcast personality.
Yeah.
And then
The when you piss me off personality.
which is daily. Anyway, join us back in January for a 7th season.
Picking it up, January 8th was
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Gosh, 7 seasons. That's crazy.
Wild. And we've been gone for 2 years.
I know. We did that in 2 years. I think we did 7
Two and a half. Yeah. 100 episodes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So how far into this are we now?
We're now 10 minutes in.
Wow,
and
you
haven't
still
gotten anywhere.
haven't
Yeah, we
even
have
introduced
our
Bella
guests.
or me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, we're very rude.
Not that we're offended or anything by that.
So this is one of our favorite episodes, or at least one of my favorite episodes to do. The Friendsgiving episode where we just talk.
Yeah.
Unlike our other podcasts where we sing, we dance,
and
Eat
talk.
tacos.
and then eat tacos.
I like the Friendsgiving episode though because are we officially releasing any information about the new season?
Sure.
Like how we're changing stuff a
We're
little
changing everything. It's not even the same show anymore.
Well,
It's called the Frenemies Podcast.
oh no.
Ay.
My favorite part of the Friendsgiving episodes was that we would just have our friends on and we get to talk about whatever we wanted. Whereas for most of the previous seasons, we would try to get people who were actively working in entertainment, big name stars, like people who worked in comedy or the arts or writing or, authors, things like that. And we
You don't remember any of the guests, do you?
I can name like 5 off the top of my head. But for Friendsgiving, we literally would just get like the one that we listened to in the car earlier was Melody and Chase. And we just talked. We just kind of talked about life. And honestly, right now, if you're probably not watching this episode, you're probably listening to it. But just for reference, we're actually sitting in a house right now where there's about 20 to 25 people just kind of gathering because my sister is in town with her newborn baby.
To be fair, most of us are here just to meet the baby.
Yes. Yeah. He's 10 months old and he's an extrovert and he's ready for bed now.
He's quite the celebrity.
Yeah, he is a celebrity.
Yeah.
We moved out of town and specifically came back to introduce him to the family, and they are obsessed. He's obsessed. He's a rock star.
Yeah. He's doing great, by the way.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him cry like once in the How long has it been? 3 hours that everybody's
Yeah,
been
that's
here?
true.
I actually hear him cry from the other side of the house right now.
Aw.
Well, yeah, that's a special skill that you have.
That is, yeah. It does not come in handy with high frequency, though. Like, okay, so, you know the pigeon things? They have, like, these pigeon noises.
The drums?
Oh,
What are
those.
they?
It's a high-pitched thing that scares away rodents and pigeons.
Yeah.
Yes.
It also scares away Bella. It works on me.
Man, if only I had known that when we were growing up.
I can't go to the DFW airport because I hear it every like 2 minutes, and it feels like somebody is like shooting me in the back of the head with like a laser. Like
Jeez.
I hate it. I hear it. My favorite pho place in Nashville, I hear their LED sign, and I can't sit
bizarre.
and eat for too long.
So
'cause I
hearing
can
loss
hear
is
their
something that
LED.
you have to look forward to.
Yes, I'd love to lose some of my hearing.
I'll take it.
I hate to break it to you, but you kind of just hear that nonstop when you have hearing
that's
loss.
true, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thankfully, it doesn't bother me too much. Like, I always just have this high-pitched ringing in my ears, but it never bugs me. It just kind of lives there, you know?
Oh, it's your friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Taking up residence. It's okay.
There we go.
So we're in the house that I grew up in, and we've had some of our very closest friends and their family members by, all to meet this little 20-pound celebrity. And I've got
Thank
Mariah
you.
Carey.
I've got both of my daughters right here in front of me. I couldn't be happier.
And Ruben.
And Ruben, yes, my other daughter. And yeah, I couldn't be happier. So,
So should we introduce these people?
I was just going to say, we haven't actually introduced them.
Yeah, so why don't you do this is a family reunion for you essentially, and I'm just kind of here along for the ride. I've known you guys for forever, so did she say something?
Lauren said same.
No. So I can't hear you. I have headphones in. So
By the way, Ruben's wife is here. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I have a wife.
some things have changed.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that people were not expecting on their 2024 bingo card was me getting married, but we can talk
Yeah.
about that some other time. But go ahead.
It's slotted for season 7.
So go ahead, introduce these people that are taking up space in our studio, and we're excited to have them. But I don't think there's anyone better to introduce them than you. So take the lead on this.
Awesome. We'll start with you. So across from me here at the table is gondolier extraordinaire and coffee drinker extraordinaire. He is the go-to person for all things Italian, Venetian gondolas in the U.S. He's actually the president of the Gondola Society of America, which is a thing, and has personally
Believe it or not.
hosted.
Very small but enthusiastic group, yes.
Kind of like Paul.
Yes, small and enthusiastic. Yeah.
He has personally hosted several gondola nationals, and those are actually the gondola Olympics of the U.S.
Yes, those also exist.
In addition to that, he started a highly successful meme-making campaign in early 2020, which he has been continuing through the duration of COVID and up to this day, actually. So if you're looking for good coffee memes, you'll want to follow him. Ladies and gentlemen, Gondola Greg.
Small but enthusiastic. Thank you. I raise my cup to you.
What roast are you drinking right now?
This is a dark Sumatra. Good stuff.
Cool. That's the only question I have for him.
To my right,
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah. So the other guest that we have here at the table today is a just for the listener as well. We have two former Moors here. So that is our old last name. We have a current Moor and two former Moors. Yes. My sister is joining us today as well. She has an amazing list of credits, including a movie, several bands, and touring the entire continental U.S. and the world, all 50 states, where she met her husband, and they now have a baby together, which is why she's come back to town. So Isabella Celeste Hinson, everybody.
Hinson, yes.
I'm not going to mess up your name again like I did at your wedding toast. I almost did it again.
and she and her husband and their son are in from Nashville.
Yes.
And my wife and I are in from Irving, Texas, which is the Dallas area. And yeah, so it's quite a reunion for us.
I'm in from Fullerton, California, about 40
exotic
minutes north of here.
Exotic locale.
Well, and if this podcast goes well enough, I'm hoping it will convince her to start her own podcast that I really, really want her to start.
Oh, that'd be great. Do you have childcare for me?
Give it about a year.
Okay.
And then yes.
And we'll just put them in front of a mic. It'll be great.
So the Friendsgiving episode is an episode where we just talk to people about kind of life and what the last year has looked like for them. And the goal, I think, originally was just to kind of spread some positivity without promotion.
Yeah, when we started doing the Friendsgiving episodes, it was, I want to say, our second year, and COVID had started in March, and then we did a Friendsgiving episode in November.
We did one once before that. Well, we did two technically, but one is
you deleted one of them.
One of them, I did not delete it. It deleted itself. Don't know why I went full Trump on that one.
When I was listening back to that episode, I was like reliving all the jokes that you made about how I deleted it. And in the car, I was just internally going, no, I didn't.
You're just raging against the machine here.
Yeah, rage against the Ruben.
I love that. So, again, but this is also a family reunion of sorts. So I'm gonna let you take the lead on this conversation, which is a rarity. I let everyone else in the room do an intro except for you.
That's crazy. The one time I don't have a laptop.
He's been domesticated since he got married.
There's a lot that's happened since the last time we actually recorded a full season.
Yeah.
That at some point we should probably dive into. But let's go ahead and jump into just kind of the questions that we have for ourselves too. We're gonna also we'll answer these questions and have some fun. So go ahead.
Yeah. So this is a question for whoever wants to jump in first. What's something that you have begun to newly appreciate this year?
Time with my parents. Yeah. A very dear childhood friend of mine whose parents were basically best friends with my parents lost her mother within the past year and lost her father just this past week. And being here, staying with my folks for the last few weeks, it's really brought a much deeper meaning to that time with my parents. Breakfast with my mom and dad is a gift every morning. And dinner with them is something that not only is a treat, but I also know might be the last time, and will definitely be something that I look back and remember with fondness for years to come. When your parents are in their 80s, every day is uncertain. Both mom and dad seem to be in pretty good health now, but the odds are against you the older you get. And so I really have come to put a greater value on time with and conversations on the phone with my mom and dad. And then there's my kids, who I don't see as much as I used to. So when I get to see them, it's really special.
Mine's a lot more shallow. I miss the blissful ignorance of not knowing what building materials are used in every room that I'm in. We recently bought a house, and we've been renovating every square inch of it. And I am all too familiar with everything when it comes to house construction. So like I walk into this house, I'm like, oh, vinyl flooring. It looks like it's held up well over time. They took really good care of it. Wow, honey, would you look at those baseboards? That's amazing. Okay, well, that is definitely loop carpet, and it's held up really well over the years. And oh my gosh, I know exactly how to take off that popcorn ceiling. I know entirely too much about how many, I look back in time. I was looking at flooring the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, the flooring that they put in my old apartment in college was literally the cheapest thing that you could find. Mm-hmm. I mean, the cheapest. They probably didn't even have padding underneath. Did you even know that they have to have padding under flooring?
I didn't know that.
I only know because I had to pick it out at Lowe's on my own, alone, without my husband.
Oh.
It was terrifying.
That is terrifying.
It's terrifying walking through Lowe's as a woman with no knowledge of how anything works.
It's terrifying walking through Lowe's as a man who has no idea how anything works.
Yeah, I had to pick out flooring padding, and I know way too much about floors and walls and carpets, and I want it out of my head.
Oh my.
Just anytime.
Listen to some more Rick Astley. It'll help.
Can I also just take a second to appreciate the fact that everything that you said, you were judging on how well it held up over time?
Yes, yeah. Well, because we're in a house, we moved into a house that was built in 2000, which, fun fact, this house is older than I am by 2 months. So what we're looking at is how the flooring has held up over the past 24 years. And now the people who lived in our previous house had 6 kids, and we saw 5 pets. That's 2 dogs, 2 cats. No, actually it was more than that. 2 dogs, 2 cats, 2 birds, and several reptiles. So these people had a whole zoo in their house. So I'm seeing in real time what that amount of foot traffic does to a place, and what a dog bowl spilling over and over again over several years does to flooring, and it's called mold. And how it absorbs the water in the kitchen. It's just, I know too much, and I want blissful ignorance.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
That is how I feel about concerts.
Oh yeah.
And I remember when I went to my very first music camp in 2013, I went to a seminar taught by Tom, oh my gosh, what's his last name?
Petty?
No, he's one of the
I feel like she remembered that.
I almost said Tom Jones, and I was like, that's
Oh, what's new, pussycat?
But he was one of the early one of the very early people who worked with Taylor Swift. And he gave several seminars on stage movement. And I attended multiples of that seminar, and one of the things that he said in every single seminar was, you are never going to enjoy a concert again after this. Yeah. So if you want to enjoy a concert, leave.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Having worked in television, we watch TV, and my wife is just enjoying the story. I'm looking at the background. Oh, that was shot in Canada.
Yeah.
And there's bad lighting in that scene.
I don't like adulthood. I know too much.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I want to be a kid again, and it's not just the fact that I have to pay bills and that I know how to pay bills now.
That's fine. That's the easy part.
Yeah, that's the easy part. The fact is the crippling self-knowledge and the crippling knowledge of everything else.
Yeah.
But I remember the day that you came back from that concert, and then also,
Tom Jackson.
Tom
That was
Jackson.
his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
The day that you came back from that camp, and then subsequently after your first semester of college, when we hung out, we were listening to music in your car, and you were doing solfege with your fingers to the music.
Doing what?
Solfege.
So it's like sign language for musicians.
It's how you learn how to sight read, how to sight sing, all of this stuff. So it's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
She was
I
doing
love how you
that
did that
shit.
on an audio-only podcast.
But just imagine she's doing it with her hands. She's moving her hands in accordance with whatever sound is being made, and I hated it.
It kind of looked like gang signs
It
just
did
now.
look like gang signs.
Hey, we are in Long Beach, so.
So she came back from college doing that to every single song that we ever listened to in the car. And I was like, what did they do to you? You can't enjoy it anymore. That was when I decided not to major in music.
A lot of people make that decision based on that. Yeah.
Because I'd like to enjoy it.
Yeah. I think that the mark of a musician is when you can know all of the things and understand and have all that training and somehow still enjoy it. It's kind of like the longer that you're married, like the deeper your understanding of marriage is. Like, I've had moments where in my marriage where I'm like, oh, I love you on a completely different level now than how I did on the first day. Brad has the saying that he heard, and unfortunately I don't know the name of the pastor, but he heard a pastor say, I hope that day one, like on our wedding day, I'll look back at it and say that was when I loved you the least. And
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
And on a very shallow level, I feel that way about music. Yeah. Because the more I learn about music, the more I can appreciate it, and the more I can like really understand the nuance of what's going on and everything that's happening. It's the same in marriage too. And you know, the moments when I know that we've been through all the pain and we've been through all the hurt and we've been through all of the brain tumors and crazy medical diagnoses and everything's still good. But it's just, you know, it feels different.
The poop hits the fan.
Yeah.
Or the floor.
Or the
I
kitchen
hate when
floor.
it does
Are we
that.
allowed to cuss on this podcast?
No.
No. Okay.
We used to,
He used to.
He used to. Okay.
like a sailor.
And what changed?
Jesus.
Okay. Jesus didn't change, but you
No,
did.
I realized that Jesus, my gardener, was not telling me the right stuff. Then I met Jesus. Well,
Good. Yeah.
reintroduced myself, I should say. What about you? What's your what was the question?
What new we appreciate in
Yeah.
2024? That's a good question. Exercise. I actually have fallen really in love with exercise this year, which is insane.
I thought you were just going to stop at fallen.
Okay, when I re-listened to that episode, you made a joke about how
It wasn't a joke.
it was. Well, no, it was before I fell both times down the stairs, and so I said something about how my cousin Ziza had given us advice on like if you fall and then he falls, it's true love, and you didn't make a falling joke, and I was like, oh, this must have been before the great fall of 2022 and 2021.
The Great Fall.
No, the Great Fall of 2020.
Did I fall in
That
2020?
was 2020.
Yeah.
That was
Wow.
When you fell down
concussion?
yeah.
That was the year I got drunk in your apartment, and I was very careful walking down the stairs when I
Oh,
was
I remember that. Yeah.
drunk. Did we ever tell you about the time that we got just like
Slammed.
blackout drunk at her apartment during the pandemic?
Don't think I heard about this one.
Hear this mix that I made? It was iced tea and vodka.
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
That will
And it
definitely
was half and half.
change your outlook.
Okay.
Yes.
But she had like one glass of it. She was hammered. I
did
drank
not
half
taste
the
good.
bottle.
Oh my goodness.
So we know who the real rock star is here.
And we also had chicken nuggets.
And I threw up.
And we went and got McFlurries.
We did.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we weren't drunk during that. We got it beforehand.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
No. I remember laying down because we had gone upstairs to go to sleep, and I was laying on my bed on the phone with Brad, going, "Yeah, I don't feel good. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I don't know." Bella's in the bathroom, and then I heard you go, "Huh," and I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh my gosh.
All I
You
can-
held my hair back.
This is not the Friendsgiving podcast I was expecting
Taking a turn for the
at
left.
all. So I've got my phone here with several different tidbits prepared to talk about Thanksgiving and Friendsgiving, and instead we're talking about barfing and vodka and dino nuggets. But okay.
That was the one time that I did it. I have not gotten drunk since because I hated it so much.
Was it the first time as well?
It was the first time that I had actually gotten like drunk.
Drunk.
And like intentionally. It was something that I was like, oh, I want to try this out. My mouth was numb. It wasn't fun.
I think I threw up I've gotten tipsy a couple of times, but usually just wine. The first night that Brad and I went on that cruise to Mexico, and that was when you got us the cruise, and we had a drink package, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm an adult. This is the first time I have a drink package. I'm going to drink a lot of drinks. And the first night of the cruise, I had like 4 different mixed drinks. And that was the night I spent most of the night throwing up. And that's how I found out I have Hashimoto's.
That will do it to you. Oh my goodness.
I will say that your guys' stories are giving that, listen, I love Jesus, but I drink a little, from Ellen.
I don't really drink anymore, and I try not to get drunk, but that was the one time because I wasn't really like walking with the Lord, and I was like, I mean, I was still a Christian, but I was like, you can get drunk and be a Christian, right? And
Depends on why you're getting drunk.
the Bible has some thoughts on it.
Yes.
And so, but I was like, I should just do it once. Like, it's in a controlled environment. It's me and my sister. I have somebody to take care of me. And so I drank half a bottle of vodka.
This was mid-COVID too, right?
It was, yeah. So we had nothing else to do.
So I'm going to break in with an unexpected special guest, your mother.
I have so much to say.
I'm sorry, Mom.
What are you sorry for?
Drinking.
You don't need to be sorry for drinking. You did not disappoint me. You guys both talked about how you learned that excessive drinking is not beneficial. So I'm proud of you for learning. I do have to say, though, when Isabella was a baby, actually we're Italian, so when both kids were babies, we always allowed them a taste of wine. Ruben is noting that I'm speaking with my hands because I am Italian. And so we gave Cassandra a little sip of wine, and she absolutely did not like it and did not want to have any more of it and wanted nothing to do with it. And we tried the same with Isabella, and Isabella could not get her hands around that wine glass fast enough. She wanted more. So I'm really surprised that it took you until your sister was in college to get drunk.
Yeah. Well, and you guys probably know this because you knew everything during that time of my life, but that was the first time I had gotten drunk, but I had drank before and tried to get myself drunk, and it didn't work.
We have the opposite problem.
But I feel like I kind of failed as a mother because iced tea and vodka? Did I teach you nothing?
I was out of sour mix.
You couldn't have had like a nice Merlot or a Chianti.
We did have rosé.
Which rosé?
I don't know. All day.
You like how I picked up on that one? Oh, rosé, do you say?
So do I get to say what I'm thankful for?
Sure, please.
I am so thankful that even though we all live very far apart from each other, that we still love each other and we talk just about every day. And sometimes my kids will just call me to say hi. And there's never a time when we're upset with each other. We just enjoy being family. And I really appreciate that about my entire family.
Yeah.
So did I do something wrong that you don't answer my calls anymore?
I think I've got you blocked.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
You need to try harder. No, I mean, in this day and age when people are divorcing their parents and not talking to family members and being upset with everybody, we don't have that going on because, it's just all about the love.
Yeah, we bonded over getting
people,
drunk together.
Yeah.
I borrowed have we told them about when I borrowed a corkscrew from you?
Oh, in college.
Yeah. So this was senior year, and for the record, we went to a Christian college. This is a podcast about drinking now.
Yeah.
We were on a dry campus.
Again, didn't see us going there.
Yeah, we had a dry campus, Christian college, so no alcohol was allowed. I accidentally won a bottle of wine.
How do you accidentally win?
It was a pop gun Christmas party.
Okay.
And we were playing...
Explains it all.
Yeah, Brian, the drummer, owns Ace. What are the machines in Vegas called?
Slot machine.
He owns a slot machine company. So
I like how you did the full-on hand motion, too.
She's Italian.
He owns a slot machine company. Every Christmas party, they used to do like a contest because he has them in his backyard. So you would play the game, and then whoever gets the best
it was
score
one of those
wins
backyard slot machine parties.
Yeah.
Didn't your father warn you about that?
Infamous ones.
So I won by accident. I didn't know we were playing for a bottle of wine, but I won a pretty nice bottle of wine. And there was a Christmas chapel that Melody and Carly and I all missed. And the Christmas chapel's great. There's a bunch of skits, really great worship, everything, and we all missed it because we had a big performance. And so there was a girls' night that we had where we were like, we should drink that bottle of wine. Oh, and we'll do face masks, and we can eat the chocolate that was in our stockings, and we'll watch the Christmas chapel. That was when we discovered we did not own a corkscrew. And so we tried everything.
Teeth?
Everything we could find in the apartment, we tried.
Mom,
and finally...
Sorry, Mom just suggested opening a corkscrew. Wait.
Mom, how crazy were you in college?
When I was in college, they didn't allow alcohol in the rooms either. But I discovered early on that if you drink Kahlua straight and put it in a coffee mug, it looks just like coffee, and nobody knows the difference. Sorry,
Looks
go
like
on.
coffee
About
with
your
cream.
wine.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I've lost control of this podcast.
You have, yeah. This is a coffee about life, drinking, and parents, I think.
A coffee?
A coffee?
Oh, yeah.
What's in your mug? The straight Kahlua?
Have I never told you that before?
No!
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, if you go look in my photo albums, you'll see a picture of me lying on the floor in my dorm room with a mug of coffee in front of me, but that was not coffee.
Not coffee. Not coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
That's where I got it from.
Anyway,
So,
my sister was a freshman, and we could not open this bottle of wine.
Wait, we're going back to the story?
And I was like...
We're not going to take a moment to realize that your mom, for a while, had a drinking problem?
she had no problem with it.
Delicious.
I saw that one coming.
All
So
right.
you borrowed a corkscrew from
Well,
your
my story seems way less hardcore now.
No, here's the thing. Like, you can't top mom, like, coming in here and just saying, hey, I drink straight Kahlua as if it was coffee. Like...
Greg has left the room.
I need more coffee.
Or real coffee, okay.
Sure.
Can you bring some rosé?
So your sister had a corkscrew as a freshman and you didn't.
This is the story of how I, as a senior, had to walk over to the freshman dorms to borrow a corkscrew for my one bottle of wine that I got on accident.
The
Yeah.
walk of shame.
Yeah.
I already had a corkscrew. I had it stuck in my sock drawer just in case somebody came in
case of
and
emergency?
looked for.
In case somebody needed to unsock themselves or what?
I was just afraid that an RA would come in and be like, "What do you have a corkscrew for?" And I'd be like, "The Eucharist." Theology major.
That's why I keep it in my sock.
Your contraband in college was very different from my contraband.
It was. I had the corkscrew and I had a bottle of white wine that I think I took from mom and dad's house, but I think they were okay with it.
Oh, when I moved out, they gave me a whole box of alcohol. So,
Okay, yeah. So I had like a
They were
bottle.
like, here, we aren't going to drink this. Take it.
It's a tax write-off.
I opened this bottle of white wine and I emptied it into one of my hydro flasks. But I didn't just like carry it around. Like I had roommates who did that and they had like vodka in their hydro flask and they just drink it out. I didn't do that. I just would sometimes enjoy the wine whenever I wanted to taste wine.
Yeah, that's fine.
When it comes down to it, the relationship between me and alcohol is tasty. I want to drink it for the taste. That's the only reason.
I was wondering why you were calling it tasty. I was like,
Because it's tasty.
That's a weird way to describe a
I have
relationship.
a hydro flask full of water from our old house that I just sometimes take a hit of whenever I'm feeling sad.
You know, we have that water in Texas. You could come visit anytime.
It's not the same water, though.
What?
So I'm thankful for... What was the question?
Actually, she's hoping the water in her hydro flask will turn to wine.
It still tastes great, which really says something about the water quality in our
Less
old
filling?
house. It's been over a year.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What? Do we have anything else that we want to admit? Any other weird things? Bank account numbers? Credit card numbers?
Why would a bank account number be weird?
Because the money disappears after you give me the number.
Can I give something else I'm thankful for?
Please.
I am thankful for being a grandma.
Oh, yay.
I absolutely love it. Thank you, but I'd like a girl next, please. No, I like the boy, but I also like girls.
I like the boy. That was very Italian.
I also like girls.
I would like a girl next to you because girls don't pee on your face when you change their
This is true. I've never had that happen, and I hope to never have it happen.
I have a quote.
That is not coffee.
That is not coffee. No, that is an IPA because somebody drank all the coffee.
Sorry.
Somebody's going to listen to this and be like, Moxy's
people are
family are
so weird,
alcoholics.
yes.
Right.
Caffeinated alcoholics.
So, here's the quote.
You gotta get closer to the mic.
Little boys mess up the carpet. Little girls mess with your mind. Your son gets upset with you, he'll look at you and call you a dummy, and you'll just go, whatever, kid. Your little daughter will look you right in the eye and inform you that you have hurt her heart. And it is a pain you will feel all the way to the depth of your soul, and you will feel an inch tall.
Which one did
This
that?
is the difference between boys and girls. So, when you have a girl, get ready.
Ruben asked which one did that. Both of us did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Jeez.
I've had
But they only did it to you because it doesn't work on women.
Yeah, it doesn't work on women.
Oh, well then.
Yeah. This is a funny thing to ask women in your life. At what age did you start fake crying to manipulate your parents?
Oh my God.
And every woman has an answer. Every man is like, what are you talking about? But every girl that I've ever spoken to about this is like, oh yeah, when I was like 7, that's when I started fake crying to like get out of things. Boys don't do
You just
that.
gave me an incredible idea for a TikTok series.
What?
I'm just going to go down to like downtown Fullerton or downtown Huntington Beach and just ask drunk girls, hey, when did you start crying to manipulate your father?
It is just a great question.
And do you do it now with your boyfriend / husband / situationship?
So why isn't Jesse Waters
ever-
doing that right now?
Are you calling me out for saying situationship?
We can talk about that later.
Okay.
We should probably move on because we
Yeah,
just
we
spent
probably
half an
should.
hour on your
What are
family's
you
drinking.
thankful for?
I am thankful for moving on to the next question.
Okay. What's the next question?
I have no idea.
It's on the list.
We're not even
I don't-
going by
I
the
don't
list
have
anymore.
the list.
Let's. I think since it is Friendsgiving themed, which is Thanksgiving themed,
Mm-hmm.
I think the appropriate question would be to talk about Thanksgiving traditions.
Yeah.
And things. And this might be an interesting one since 3/4 of the or 4/5 of the podcast are all from the same family. So I'm assuming that's going to be pretty much the same-ish answer across the board. But yeah, tell me a little bit more about your guys' like favorite Thanksgiving tradition or dish or memory. Mine has not changed since the last time we did this podcast.
Okay.
So you have to listen to the last podcast. Oh, here comes your mom. Let's go.
Oh, she's chiming in.
Okay, I'm sorry I was leaving the room, but I heard that question and now I'm back. When the girls were little, we did this wonderful thing where we took a big piece of butcher paper and we drew the trunk of a tree on it and we cut out leaves out of
Construction
paper, different colors, brown and yellow and red. And we would write something that we were thankful for on the leaf and we would tape it to the tree.
And make a tree.
Yeah, and we made a tree of all the things we were thankful for. And it could be something simple like, you know, I'm thankful for my mommy or my daddy, or I'm thankful for air conditioning if it was hot that day, you know. Or it could be something, you know, really serious. I'm thankful for Jesus, or I'm thankful for
That's amazing.
faith, or where we live. And it was the neatest thing.
I want to try to adopt that in my family.
That is so sweet, Mom. I was going to say the Martinellis.
Do you remember the tree?
Of course I remember the tree.
Okay, good.
But the green bean casserole was amazing.
I was gonna say my favorite Thanksgiving tradition is Candace losing her phone up on that iceweed hill.
I think it's still up there.
Yeah, I think it is.
Still up there. I think all my
Twice. This happened
bridesmaids found it
twice.
when they threw up on my wedding day.
Their cousin. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So-
Oh, yeah.
Somebody found it?
Well, I was just thinking one
Oh.
of my bridesmaids probably found it when they threw up on that same hill on
During
my
the
wedding
ceremony?
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the greatest thing about Thanksgiving for me was staying connected with relatives because my mom has 2 sisters, and some of them lived semi close by and others a little further away. Everybody was close enough to drive to one spot, and there were a lot of cousins. And so these cousins, we would get together and play, and as we got older, just sort of catch up and talk about our daily activities and just stay connected with people who we were otherwise not really connected with anymore. But yet we shared a bloodline. We shared a lineage, and so that was a neat thing. It was sort of a reconnection, almost a class reunion, if you will, every year. But of course, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, sometimes even 4th of July. So that was always a good thing about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving has been celebrated since the very beginning of this country. There are something like 7 or 8 other countries that celebrate Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there's a Canadian Thanksgiving.
Canadian Thanksgiving, Japanese, Germany, Brazil, South Korea, Vietnam. Now, some of these started out as a sort of a harvest festival, but it's always kind of in that fallish area. And in some cases, I think that people just label it Japanese Thanksgiving.
Do you know when they were established in those in the Asian countries?
In these different countries, well, I know
American occupation.
Actually, the country of Liberia is the only African country that has an actual Thanksgiving, and it is because of the United States' influence on the founding. In fact, the flag of Liberia is the red and white stripes. It's like part of our flag. But Thanksgiving has been around a long time. Friendsgiving, the first mention of it was in 2007. Wow. So it's pretty new. Now, who knows when people started doing that?
Yeah.
I think the great thing about Friendsgiving is you've got so many people now who are disconnected from families or sadly don't really have families. And that's like Mother's Day when your mom isn't alive anymore. And so to have...
I know that one.
Yeah, I know. And I bit my tongue right after I said it. Sorry. But Friendsgiving is probably a really great relief for people who don't have a family that they want to or physically can connect with. I mean, if your parents all live in Boston and you live in Seattle, well, you get on a plane, spend a whole lot of money, or you could spend Friendsgiving with a bunch of friends who are also disconnected in a different way. So it's special that way. And what we had tonight, really, a Friendsgiving.
A Friendsgiving, yeah.
Yeah, definitely some family members here.
Yeah.
But people who are such friends that they're like family to us are here as well.
Can you name a couple?
Sure.
I'm kidding. One in particular. No, I love that concept of Friendsgiving. And that's one of the reasons why we started this particular theme episode. And it's one of our only theme episodes that we ever really did. Was in hopes that when we had control of the conversation, we'd be able to really make people feel included in what, for many people, is a hard season. The holiday season isn't easy for everyone.
Yeah, it's really tough.
You know, a lot of people have a really hard time with the holiday season in general. And so for me, it's like, if we can spread a little bit of joy, a little bit of like, oh, it's cool to hear some of these stories. Oh man, that Moore family really has an alcohol problem. But just to, or a laugh or two in the process. It's nice to know that we can play a small part in that.
Definitely.
I just have one last question that I want to pose, and I don't know if we have anything else planned for this. We are right about the mark where we wanted to be.
Okay.
But I guess for me, it's like a lot has changed in the 2 years or 3 years since we did this theme.
Yeah.
I think the last time we did it was in 21.
Yeah, 21. It would have been early August, I think.
That we recorded it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been about 2 years.
Yeah. And
3 years.
Yeah.
21, 22, 4, yeah.
Yeah. You know how to count.
I know how to count.
I'm so proud of you.
To 4.
To 4.
I can only count to 4.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Wait, have you seen that, actually?
No.
Have any of you seen that? Oh my gosh, they made a Muppets cover of it.
Of course they did.
Yeah, it's an entire,
Please tell me the Swedish Chef is in it.
I think so.
We're going to link that in the description of this podcast for sure. But I guess, so much has changed since then. There's a baby in the picture now. You guys have moved out of California. You and I are talking again.
You're married.
I'm married. So I guess this is more of a forward-looking question. Where do you see yourself in a year? So I'll let that pause there for a second and just say that now's the time to subscribe to this podcast. Now's the time to share it with a friend, share it with a family member as they're thinking about this question, because we have a lot of great content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And mediocre content, let's be real. Yeah. Mediocre at best.
I would say with our content, it's like, 30% of it's really great.
Yeah, it's like McDonald's. You know you're going to get a solid Coke out of it. Wait, hold on. Maybe I shouldn't use that as a reference.
Sprite, McDonald's Sprite.
Sprite. Yes, Sprite. You know the drink's going to be good at least, so you get a couple laughs out of it. But the burger and the fries are hit and miss every single time.
Oh yeah.
That's
If you don't
literally
eat the fries fast enough, they're going to be mediocre.
exactly. If you let the podcast run long enough, you end up telling stories about getting drunk in college. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast feed, the YouTube channel, youtube.com/multimedia mouth, and whatever our YouTube channel link is. I don't remember what that is.
I believe we
Best
just
friend?
use Multimedia Mouth.
Yeah. Okay.
And YouTube is going to be the best way to support this show. I know we've been on hiatus for a long time, but since we are coming back for season 7, the best way to support the show is going to be through YouTube.
Subscribe.
That does really, really help our numbers if you watch this or listen to this on YouTube. You can also find us on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever the other ones are. Yeah.
Whatever Google became.
Yeah.
So much has changed.
I know. It's been 3 years and everything is different.
It's wild.
But yeah.
But also, we also have a ton of other stuff like from previous years.
Yeah.
Which surprisingly, here's an interesting fact. And maybe we can talk about this once we return as well, because I'm giving them some more time to think.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for them to give me a thumbs up so that way we know that they're good. But we are still getting somehow 250 to 300 downloads a week.
That's insane.
And we haven't put out episodes regularly in
3 years.
In 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's insane.
Yeah.
It's wildly insane. But subscribe, share this, listen to all the old episodes.
We interviewed some really cool people, and part of me is kind of sad we're moving to a non-interview based model, because we did really get to talk to a lot of amazing people, and I think that's why people are going back into the archives and picking up some of those episodes, because I mean, we interviewed a lot of people whose careers have really taken off. There was Peyton Howie, there was Brett Cooper, there was I'm thinking of the book and I can't remember.
Gabrielle Stone.
Yeah, Gabrielle Stone.
She got married and had a baby.
I know.
Who does that?
Oh no, but you don't understand her story. Like she had a wild divorce.
Her whole like rise to fame was based on a book that she wrote about like finding herself after divorce.
Yeah, she had a line of merch that was called Divorced AF.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Happily divorced. Like
She was
that was her
fantastic.
whole.
Oh, I thought that was the divorced Air Force.
No, but
Divorced as bleep.
Yes.
Yeah. But we have interviewed some really cool people. So if you like this episode, if you're looking to listen to some previous episodes, feel free to go back through those archives and see some of those names, because we really did interview a lot of people. More people are popping into my head now as I'm talking about this.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see the people who are being downloaded a lot. Mm-hmm. Brett Cooper is number 1.
That makes sense.
Which because she's just taken off in the last year and a half. So it's incredible. Go and subscribe and do all the fun stuff. So I'm going to start with Bella.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself in a year?
So, fun fact.
Not replacing flooring anymore.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
hopefully not replacing flooring anymore. Exactly a year ago today was my baby shower.
Oh, wow.
And today is the day that we introduced all of our close friends, or some of our close friends, to the baby for the
Ouch.
first time.
That's not an ouch.
I felt like I went from close friend to the not close friends.
No,
Some of
I
our
wanted
close
to
friends.
say some of our close friends, because we may have, like, there may be some people who weren't here tonight who weren't able to make it, or this was just like
Losers.
a last minute get together. And I don't want anyone to think that they weren't.
Yeah, there's
included or
definitely,
weren't thought of
tonight
as
was not an
family.
exhaustive list of all of our close friends.
If you were not here, you're not loved.
Yeah.
Dude, you are so not helping.
I know. Listen, that's you. As my wife would like to say, that's part of the service.
So we have come full circle, and that a year ago today was my baby shower, and here I am now with a 10-month-old, and without a gallbladder. So in a year, I see.
Wait, you push the baby out with the gallbladder? How does this work?
So 2 months after.
It was a gift with purchase.
3 months. It was 3 months. After
I don't
having
think you're
the
supposed to
baby.
push that hard.
Did you know? Okay, you're supposed to give birth twice when you give birth. You give birth to the baby, and then you give birth to the placenta. So technically, I've given birth twice. But
I've heard there's also a secret third thing.
Hey, that's a poopy joke to say.
So I got my gallbladder taken out like 3 months after giving birth, and it was not fun. But a year from now,
The birth of the gallbladder. Sorry, I have so many follow-up questions.
Both of them were not fun. The gallbladder was probably the least fun because I couldn't do sit-ups because they had to go through muscle.
I feel that.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to get laparoscopic surgery done too.
Yeah.
Not fun.
I just can't do sit-ups because I'm fat.
That's why you should do sit-ups.
No, I physically can't.
So a year from now, I hope to find myself in the same position, surrounded by friends and family, just like I was for my baby shower. A year from now, I am hoping to be well adjusted in Nashville, to have like really our friends set in stone, because we have so many wonderful friends, but I really want to get more plugged into community. I hope to have so many more murals in my new house because I love painting murals. And I have a list of goals that I came up with.
Oh yeah, Brad and I do that at the beginning of every year.
But that's
It's called a New Year's resolution.
But it's not a New Year's
No,
resolution.
it's not a resolution.
Because it's just like a bucket list of things that I want to do, but it's like the lamest bucket list that you could ever hear in your life, because I've been to so many places. And like everybody's bucket list is like, go to the Grand Canyon.
Go skydiving.
Yeah, go bungee jumping. I don't want to do that. I want to run a 5K.
Nice.
That's a good one.
I want to run a half marathon, and then I want to run a marathon. So I'm building myself up.
Are you running from your problems?
No, I'm
That's a
actually
running
towards
joke.
I want to learn how to sew. I'm so terrible at it. I want to paint my walls again, which I'm in the process of doing.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to make baklava.
Oh,
fun.
Yeah.
You should do that while you're here, and I can taste test it for you.
That's a great idea.
He thinks so.
I want to plant a vegetable garden. Actually, I can check that off because we moved into a house that has a vegetable garden.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, you still have to plan it.
I'm planning more of it.
Okay.
We harvested our first bell pepper and Paul ate it. Not the entire thing, but
Okay. Did he like it?
he did.
That's nice.
I want to write and release my own album.
Ooh.
I want to learn karate and get my master's degree and learn to play the organ.
That's gonna take a long time.
It is.
Yeah.
Work in a thrift store or a boutique, and then like in parentheses it says somewhere I can dress up mannequins for the storefront. I love doing that. It's like playing with dolls.
Literally.
Yeah. I want to learn how to shoot a bow and arrow. Apparently, I wrote that on the list.
You have a lot to do in 2025.
And I want to learn how to salsa.
Salsa.
Make salsa?
Yeah, I want to learn how to make salsa.
Dance salsa.
'Cause I can teach you how to make salsa.
I know how to make salsa.
Okay, but don't say it like that.
I know how to make salsa. It sounds like those white girls when they come back from Hawaii and they're like, I just came back from Hawaii.
No, you sound like, did you ever see that trend on TikTok where it's like Miss Universe and the women are like, I'm from Peru!
Oh, yeah.
France!
Salsa!
That was how I was saying it.
The latest news coming in from Nicaragua.
So that is on my list of goals. And a year from now, I hope to have some of those off the list. I'd love to get back into running.
Yeah.
And to run a 5K because I was not athletic growing up. I did not know how to run, and it would mean a lot to me if I could do that.
Yeah.
And I want to learn how to make baklava. And I want to be the best version of myself so that I can be a healthy and happy mom so that I can have healthy and happy kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do that usually, I think we usually do it on January 1st, but we will, the last couple of years, we'll go and get coffee or get lunch somewhere, and then we have notebooks that we write in or at least mine is the same every year. And we'll take 15, 20 minutes and just make a list of stuff that we want to accomplish in a year. And some of it is really small, some of it is big, like I know I've had and I learned from a professor in college to make your goals specific and attainable. And whenever I had to do projects for this class, he would say, don't just say like, oh, I'm going to release music. Say like, I am going to release this at this time. And so I've had release an EP on my list for like 2 years. I'm wanting next year to be the year. But I mean, I'll put stuff on there. Like Brad gave me a crochet kit last year for Christmas. I've had. Can you actually? Because I'm horrible at it. Okay, cool. I've had that on the list. Right? I'll put like learn something new. Like that's. I think last year I put learn something new on there. One of the years I put do another photo shoot with Jack Lou. I've done like take an exercise class at this place. Like it's just kind of it's not a resolution list per se. It's just kind of like, okay, I'm like orienting myself to the new year. This is what I want to accomplish this year. And sometimes I get maybe half of it done. Maybe a quarter of it, not all of it rolls over to the next year because some of it's less pertinent by the time I get to the next year. By next year, I am hoping to just be working more. I would like to be gigging a little bit more, and I'm thankful because I am the lead on several big projects now, so I do get more gigs these days. But I'm realizing that I lost so much time because of COVID, and it's time that my peers had right out of college. I work with so many people who are, just 2 or 3 years older than I am, but they had those 2 or 3 years. And when I was fresh out of college, COVID hit about 9 months after, and I didn't get all that time. And then there was no definitive end to COVID.
To some people, it's still going.
Yeah, exactly. There's been no definitive end, and there's no like marker to say oh, we're done now. Things are back to normal. You can go back to normal. And within the time span of COVID, I got married, and everything changed, and I moved, and half of my network moved away. Yeah, and so I never I didn't get to actually do the LA dream. And we are looking at moving out to Nashville at some point after next December, because that's when my husband will be graduating with his master's, and he's already talking about a PhD.
Is he really?
He is, and
I love that for him.
I know, I do too. Part of me is kind of like, hey, can you maybe get employed at a school first so they'll pay for the PhD? Yeah.
Or hey, you can come work for T-Mobile, and they might pay for it too.
We have a friend who's working for Disney and they're paying for his master's. So yeah. But I'm hoping to be gearing up in a year to make that move, or to stay in LA a little bit longer if we're doing well. Which is
I'm campaigning for the
it's not looking right now like things will be better in a year. But
in a year our house will probably be done, so you guys
can come stay with you.
Yeah, stay with us for
a while. I'm just hoping, because I'm realizing that not to be a downer, but I'm only getting older. And
that is such a great outlook.
Wow. I've had 3 major medical diagnoses happen in the last 3 years. And I'm not well.
Well, let me throw in a very sage quote from your grandfather, my father-in-law. Keep smiling, kid. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, so, I mean, at a certain point, because I remember I used to hate exercise. I used to hate going outside. I wanted to just stay inside and work on my laptop, and I did not like the things that were good for me. But I had all the energy in the world. I was flexible. I could go work out if I wanted to. I wasn't gaining weight, even though I was eating whatever I wanted. And now, because of the Hashimoto's, because of the endometriosis, I feel fatigued all the time. And I'm realizing, having that much energy was a gift. And now I have to work to retain it. So it's building those habits, building those healthy habits back into place where I'm like, okay, I am going outside. I am getting vitamin D. I am going to the gym and exercising because it makes me fall asleep better at night. And if I fall asleep better at night, I'm getting more regular sleep. And then that helps me it's all a rolling, it's a rolling a ball uphill. But it's easier once you start rolling it uphill.
An object in motion stays in motion.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So that's a very roundabout way of where I hope I am next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll go to you.
Okay, well, a year from now, I hope to be spending some quality time with Paul running around on 2 feet. I'd prefer it if we're both running around on 2 feet. I've actually taken up running in this past month, and something I used to do a lot of, and I'm hoping to continue that. So maybe we'll run a 5K together. Maybe the three of us can do that.
I would not like to do that.
Okay.
I will be there eating nachos in the stands.
We can make signs.
Yes.
My joints will not do that.
It's a very broad statement, but I want to be in the best health I can possibly be. I'll be 60 in February.
Wow.
And my father-in-law is right. It's only getting worse, and you get pains you didn't realize you were going to have, and it's frustrating. The statement, "youth is wasted on the young," it's confusing to young people. To old people, they get it.
Yeah.
Because, man, the older I get, the better I was. And the older I get, the more I value and miss the ability to just jump and run without having to do any stretches, and bounce back, and you could do anything and be fresh the next day. And that is not the case at 59 and change. I keep telling myself I need to become more fluent in Italian. I'll probably keep telling myself that, but with any luck, I'll be a little bit more fluent in Italian. But honestly, when you get to my age, and I really hate that I just heard myself say that, when you get to my age, it is all about staying as healthy as possible. I mean, my parents are in their 80s. My dad's mother lived to 109 and 10 months and almost made it to 110. So it's there for the taking if I'm willing and God willing, I don't find myself staring down the barrel of some kind of cancer. But you only get one body. You got to take as good a care as you can of it. So a year from now, running with Paul and Bella and whoever else wants to run with us.
Like I said, we'll be there with the nachos cheering you on. Maybe a chili dog at the finish line.
If I could do it on an elliptical, I would. What about you?
That's some great stuff. Had you asked me a year ago,
You would say right here.
Right here. This is my plan the entire time. It's funny. You look back to a year ago, like Bella was saying, a year ago was her baby shower. A year ago, I was planning an engagement.
I remember that frantically, actually.
Yeah, well, this is before the frantics kicked in, because this is right around the time where we bought the tickets, and I think I placed the order.
I'm sorry, I just have to interject. What an amazing band name for like a ska band, The Frantics. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please. And so got engaged and did the whole engagement thing in like 7 months, 8 months, 9 months.
It was 9 months. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 months.
Wow, you can have a baby and a wedding in 9 months? That's incredible.
You
Ruben,
didn't have a baby.
I think we're on the same schedule when it comes to
you
big
guys are
life
synced
decisions.
up.
Yes, because he was planning his engagement and then he got engaged the week before I had my baby.
Well, kind of. So that was the thing. So originally,
Couple weeks.
Yeah. So originally it was supposed to be. I think your due date was right in the middle of.
No, it was the day of. It was that day.
Okay. And
your due date was the same day as the day that he was planning to propose, and he called me. I'm sorry. I'll let you tell.
No, please. Well, so the long story short of that was I was planning on proposing to Lauren at Mark Tremonti does Frank Sinatra. And so, for those who don't know who Mark Tremonti is,
it's a concert.
He's the guitar player of Creed and Alter Bridge, which Alter Bridge is my favorite band. He also
everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that. But he also has a solo project that Lauren absolutely loves, and then he did this Frank Sinatra stuff to raise money for the National Down Syndrome Society because his newborn baby was born with Down syndrome, and so he started raising money for that organization. And so I've literally bought every album that's come out from that project. And when he was like, "Oh, we're going to play LA," I'm like, well, that's a great way to propose, you know, and it's a good, easy excuse to get her into a dress and get her hair done and her to put her makeup in and get her, you know. And so it was good. It was the best thing. And then I ordered the ring. The ring got delivered on a Monday, and on a Wednesday they canceled the show. Oh. And I call Moxy, frantically being like, "They canceled the show. I don't know what we're gonna do." And I remember Lauren, after the fact, was like, "Oh, this is why you were so upset about the show being canceled." I'm like, "Yeah, I had a whole plan. Like, it wasn't just." Anyway, so we ended up just.
He called me and he was like, "They canceled the show," and I was like, "Okay, what are we doing?" And he was like, "I don't know. Do you have any ideas?"
and I drastically, I remember this because at some point when we were originally talking about it before the concert came up, she goes, "Why don't you do it on a gondola?" I will never get engaged on a gondola.
What is wrong with you?
Dear reader, he got engaged on a gondola.
Thank you.
And just
I am
like that.
every bit of my soul right now is containing my left arm from reaching over and smacking you for what you just said.
So here's the thing is the proximity that I had to gondolas for a short period was too close.
Same.
And it was
relatable, yeah.
Yeah, and it was too on the nose. But when you run out of options and, you know, your friend's family happens to be really well connected to the gondolas.
I know a guy.
Really well connected.
I am that guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you realize that you can have an incredible date night and proposal on a really last minute schedule. And quite frankly, you know, the friends and family hookup was incredible. Basically what I'm saying is I only did it because it was cheap for me.
So just for the
Also,
record,
the ring was burning a hole in his pocket.
yes. I proposed to my wife on a gondola 31 years ago, and I am biased in saying this, but you gave Lauren the ace of spades as far as engagement stories. How did he propose to you? Dinner and a movie. Boring. Concert. Okay, that's cool. On a gondola?
Okay, but here's the thing.
Ka-ching!
No, my husband proposed to me at a ball, so
that you planned.
We're not talking about
so
that.
we can definitely dive into this more in the future, but I just need you to understand, I have connections with that world, you know, and so the plan wasn't just get engaged at the concert. It was, hey, I was planning on interviewing him the week before the show and like being like, hey, by the way,
can you bring me on stage?
Can we do something with this? You know? And so it would have worked out if that were the case, but it didn't. And it ended up being best case scenario. The only thing that I wish was that we had a better gondolier.
I'm sorry.
And the best was not available.
I was in Texas at the time.
But to answer the question, in a year from now, I hope I can say that I'm a better husband, a better person, and quite frankly, much richer from this podcast venture that we're doing.
Speaking of Friendsgiving, I believe the guy who was your gondolier just entered the building with his wife.
We gotta wrap this up. We got a party to go back to.
I was so happy when I'm so sorry because
we've talked about this.
It sucks that the show got canceled. I was so happy because the show was on your due date.
Dude.
Was it January 15th?
It was, yeah.
14th, yeah.
I went into labor on January 15th.
Yeah, he called me and he was like, hey, so I need you to block January 15th on your calendar. And I was like, why? And he was like, I'm proposing. And I was like, can you do it any other day? And he was like, no, it's this show. And I was like,
you're the second person to ask me to move my proposal.
And then you're like, my sister's having a baby. It's a little bit more schedule constricted than that.
Actually, you know what my answer was?
What?
She can wait.
I could not, in fact. I gave birth in the biggest blizzard that hit Nashville in the last 40 years.
6.5 inches of snow.
Which Dad walked through to get Jason a sandwich when I was in labor.
I walked.
Uphill both ways?
Uphill both ways.
I will say that looking back at it, and this is probably a good place to end too, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Mm-hmm. You know, like he worked out an incredible plan B for me that allowed Moxy to be a part of that day in a way probably a lot more hands-on than you probably would have
I'm really
been.
glad that you're done. Because I planned your proposal and I planned your wedding.
You're gonna plan my funeral too. All across the board.
You better take a while, buddy. I'm not planning anything for a while.
I have Mom's back.
Uh-oh, Mom's back.
I have a beef to pick with you. Though.
With me?
Yes.
What'd I do?
Bone, Mom,
it's
not
a bone
beef.
to pick with you. I have a beef with you. I
have a beef to pick with you.
Cut to, it's like she's walking through Costco looking at steaks.
I have a beef bone to pick with you. Why did you dress my daughter like a boy?
Oh gosh.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, at your
Dude.
wedding, you made her wear a suit.
Oh,
Yeah.
the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cried about that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So did I.
Just go get a gray dress and tell you to
And just show up in it.
just show up in it.
She looks fabulous.
So you say.
As a girl.
It was not the most flattering look on her.
She's a girl.
Listen,
Look,
I was with my bros and my lesbians. Okay. Like.
Oh my
If
gosh.
your darling wife had a guy in her bridal party, would she have put the guy in a dress?
Depends on the guy.
No.
Amen.
Yeah.
Depends on like.
And hallelujah. And no. Heck no.
End of my beef bone.
Okay.
All that to say, that's
Dude,
this episode.
dude,
I lost complete control.
There are
of
no
this shit.
excuses. You just say you're sorry. She's Italian.
Listen,
it's Mom.
The only thing I will say is that it was my wedding. It was my big day.
This is my daughter.
No, dude, it's not your big day. It's your wife's big day.
Lauren,
I think it actually was my big day.
was our wedding my big day or your big day?
Bingo.
She doesn't say that when the recording button's on. She admitted many times that it was my big day.
Okay, you were the bridezilla.
She just said you were the bridezilla.
This is how you know that you married the right person, because the one time I called my ex-fiance a groomzilla, he was like, never call me that again.
Proving the point.
Yeah.
Proving the point.
Gads.
So chill. The day of the wedding.
You were.
He was over here like, I'm a guy.
No. Okay, so let me just weigh in here as somebody who has performed over 1,200 wedding ceremonies.
For the same person.
It's the bride's day. And then it's the bride's mom's day. And then it's the bride's best friend's day. And then it's the groom's mom's day. And then maybe it's the groom's day.
Dad, quick question.
Yes.
What was the chain of command for my wedding?
For your wedding. Like, whose day was it?
Well, yeah, the wedding where everybody puked.
I was gonna say whoever didn't get sick.
Well,
We should do an episode about that.
Yeah. Your nephew kind of took the whole ant farm and shook it there. So for those of you listening, my son-in-law's brother brought his baby, who was
My nephew.
6 months old.
Yeah,
He's the cutest baby. He was just the cutest thing, and everybody wanted to hold this adorable baby. Well, this adorable baby happened to be a germ vector, and everybody who touched or played with or kissed this baby got violent stomach flu. Some of those people were puking over the hillside during the ceremony, and I must tell you, it was really hard to keep my composure and continue on with the ceremony and pretend that wasn't happening behind me. So,
What was
yeah.
the total count?
So,
The total count was 16 people.
16 people.
Puked at, because of, or during the wedding.
16 people vomited because of one cute baby. So, what have we learned today, kids? Don't
kiss
bring
babies.
Don't bring a sick baby to a wedding.
Also, that is a really great advertisement to not kiss babies on their faces.
Yes,
Which is something more people need to be aware of.
Amy kissed his feet, and she got sick.
Well, his feet were probably in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've lost control of this podcast. Let's wrap this thing up. We went 20 minutes over than we were
I think I'm going to be
expecting
sick.
Oh, God. How do we normally end this thing?
Like, comment, subscribe. Get it wherever you get your podcasts. all that.
That was good.
That was pretty decent.
Yeah, we could stick with that.
You can find our podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or wherever you can find streaming services.
If you can find a podcast on Apple Music, I'd be incredibly impressed.
Not podcasts on Apple
They have
Music?
Apple Podcasts.
I get my podcasts under a rock in the backyard.
It's like a separate app.
Why do you have to download a million apps for a million things?
I know.
Just making sure you're paying attention.
It's Apple. My name's Ruben J.
And I'm Moxy Ann.
And we are way out of time.
We are going to be coming back for season 7 starting January 8th if everything goes as planned.
We might have another bonus episode, by the way, because I have a beef to pick with you about I have a chicken breast to pick with you. Listen, I would say I would do.
Will there be dino nuggets?
I hope so.
And vodka.
And vodka tea. About the way you use the word situationship.
Oh, we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, it's going to be probably before the end of the year. We're going to have another one of these random special episodes to talk about that.
Okay.
And with that, goodbye.
I am